Hey there everyone, welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. My name is Emily. Today we are back in the world of DCS as the title betrays. And the fact that we're looking at the Admiral Kuznetsov, or to put its full name, Admiral Flota Sovietskiego Soyuza Kuznetsov. We are at doing NATO versus the Northern Fleet. This is going to be quite the exercise today. So I've paused the sim, we're going to work through everything, discuss it, figure it out and go from there. So I'm going to quickly get my notes up for the Northern Fleet wiki. And yes, I use Wikipedia for all of this. We're going to use the order of battle. So there are a lot of submarines assigned to the Northern Fleet, and that's arguably most of its strength and most of its sort of specialness, if you like. As an example, you've got the Losharik, which is a very interesting submarine. Belgorod up there as well. Belgorod really can kick butt. It's expected to transfer the Pacific Fleet, but it's a very impressive ship. So I'm focusing only on surface warships and some air power today. So 43rd Missile Ship Division starts off with the the Kuznetsov class carrier, Admiral Kuznetsov. This is the flagship of the Russian Navy. I've got it in here because I'm sort of setting this as 2025, 2026-ish. Now, like I say, we'll presume the Kuznetsov has returned to the fleet. Next, we have this, Pyotr Velikий, Peter the Great. This is the Kirov-class battlecruiser. This is, again, an amazing bit of kit. Quickly, so there's two of these actually assigned to the Northern Fleet at the moment. There's Pyotr Velikий and Admiral Nakimov. The Nakimov is currently in refit and is expected to begin sea trials in 2023. And basically, as far as I understand it, the plan is Admiral Nakimov, is put back in the water effectively, and Peter the Great takes its place in refit. You've got the Slavic. Now, actually, so I'll really quickly cover off on the Kirov cruiser, because actually this is probably one of the the Kuznetsov over there isn't really that impressive compared to this. This does actually do quite a bit. So armaments on the Kirov, you've got 20 P700s, known in Russian sources as the Granite. NATO reported him shipwreck. You've also got anti-submarine missiles, which you don't really care about. 12 S-300 missiles, 20 OSA shot. 12 rounds of 12 times 8 S-300s. So that is 96 S-300 rounds in there. And then 2 times 20 OSA, which is 40 OSA short-range missiles. Their space reserve for 16 by 8 only installed Pyotr Velikий. So they are actually installing Kinjal. So my apologies. So this is actually a Kinjal, which is the Tor, is also the Kinjal. You've got the on sorry, my apologies on Peter the Great. It's 6 times 8 Grumbles, 6 times 8 S-300s. Then 8 times 8 SA9. 1 AK 130, 2 times AK 130s. 6 Kashtan short. So can't speak English, so I really apologise, guys. 6 Kashtans. 10 torpedoes, which again aren't simulated, but again a really formidable battleship. Also, just its size, I can't do anything to convey it, but I mean, that's a little launch there, which should be probably, what I would call a decent sized boat. It's on this. It's massive. This was basically designed in response to the Iowas being recommissioned, and this was designed to go and kill Iowas. Next, we have the cruiser Moskva, back from its stint as a submarine in the Black Sea. No, they do actually have. The Black Sea, the Northern Fleet, my apologies, does have a Slava cruiser as well. It's the same class of ship as the Moskva, therefore I'm using that. Unfortunately, there's not sort of specific Marshal Ustinov, which is the name of the ship. Specifically, this one slings It doesn't actually give. Oh, it does. But so it has Vulcan missiles. Sorry, it has 12 sandbox missiles, 64. So 16 sandboxes, 64 SA-6 Grumbles. So wait, sorry, 64 S300s, 40 Geckos, twin AK-130s, and 6 Kashtans from the AK-630. Now, this is where we move on to the interesting bits. There is also a Sovereignty class destroyer at the Admiral Ushakov. Because we don't have a Sovereignty, which is predominantly an anti-submarine ship, I've actually replaced it with a Udaloy later in, but we'll discuss that then. We now move on to the 3 Admiral Gorshkov class frigates. These incredible ships, the mod of course by Current Hill, and Admiral, I forget the numbers after his name, but it's basically a DCS mod of course. This is armed with 1 times 130 Mike gun, 16 times caliber missiles, 32 times, 16 times, okay. So sorry, yeah. Depending on which ship it is, it's either 16 times calibers or slash Onyx or 32 times caliber slash Onyx. I'm not sure which one this simulates. The VLS cells for surface-to-air missiles, which will be your has mid-range stuff as well, but it's obviously predominantly the stuff we're interested in that this is going to sling is the Hermes missiles, which are basically the Panzer shots. And obviously a number of machine guns and a K-27. There are 3 of these in the fleet today. 1, 2, 3. We've got a Karakurt here, which replaces the my apologies. So the Karakurt which replaces the Sovereignty. I do apologise. I made this mission a while ago. You've then got the Udaloy class destroyers. The Udaloys slaying 100 miles. So you've got the naval gun, silent, so anti-ship missile, submarine stuff I'm not interested in. Gauntlets, so it's more sort of short range work, and it also has sunburn missiles, which is these launchers under the bridge there. So this is going to be quite a formidable ship to play with. Another one, 3 in total. Standing in for the Rasviet, which is an Anuchka 3 Corvette. We've got the Molnier, which is basically the same kind of ship, so it's incredibly similar. We've got Grishas. These are basically bullet catchers. 1, 2, so 2 Grishas. I've decided to incorporate these. Again, predominantly is bullet catchers, but they do also have the guns, and they do have a SHORAD capability, I believe. And that is, so these are the Pucha landing ships. And then one of the NATO side of things. Leading the charge today, we've got the Ticonderoga CMP with anti-ship missile fit. Ticonderoga, Arleigh Burke, Arleigh Burke, Arleigh Burke. Type 45, Type 45, Type 26. This is just something I threw in for a bit of an experiment because I want to see how it does. This is obviously got the cam, so this is incredibly fast firing, short range missiles. So this could actually be quite pivotal. It has very little offensive capability, but it's incredibly defensive. Arleigh Burke, Arleigh Burke, Arleigh Burke, Arleigh Burke, and then we're back to the Russians. As standard, we've got AWACS, we've got A50, and on the Russian side, I've also got aircraft that have just taken off from the Kuznetsov, as you can see. Wink, wink. These are stand-ins for the modernised flankers. Basically, they are carrying 4 times anti-ship missiles and some IR stuff. There's no point in having anything else because there's no real air threat today for them. So their job's to go out and throw missiles, basically. Now, this is the interesting part of today's fight. Kinjal. Kinjal is Russian for dagger. This is the hypersonic missile we've heard about in Ukraine. You're going to see it perform quite interestingly when it's fired against a ship. They do supposedly have an anti-ship capability, which is fair enough. I'm going to point out some of my skepticism when we fire these, but those are there. We've got the Nato side of things, which is the E2D acting as AWACS. This is basically the two AWACSs aren't really part of the simulation. They're just there, right over the horizon targeting, which is sort of satellites and stuff. Not sure why I've got an A10 here. However, we do have the B-21. This is the Raider. This, don't worry, is not using its stealth capabilities today. This is using its ability to deliver LRASM missiles. Now, these are the modern anti-ship missiles that the Americans are using. In much the same way that the Russians have flown MiG-31s in, I don't think it's impossible that the Americans would fly some B-52s loaded down with a pile of these and then just throw them at the target and then run away. I'm using the Raider. The Raider doesn't add any extra capabilities today. It can just do this and be invisible. You know, not sure what he's doing over there, but the plan overall basically is for them to run at each other. And like I say, for all intents and purposes, the air threat side of things shouldn't really have an impact. So we'll unpause. Now that I've said all of that, you can see the Raiders are going to pretty much overfly the fleet. There we go. So first Kinjal is out. Notice how quickly it accelerates. It looks like all of them have been fired now. This is the lead one in its fleet. So it's accelerating really quite quickly, but straight level flight. I'm not going to fast forward this because it will get to target in about the time we're to talk about it. Now, a couple of thoughts I have on this. Obviously, this was one of these was supposed to be down in Ukraine, and I believe it was. And I also think these are, it's possible to kill these one or two ways. A, Golden BB. The closure speeds on this are pretty much impossible to calculate for a human. You'll see when we get close, like you can see how fast the clouds are going by the window. You'll see when we get into the terminal phase how much these things maneuver, though. That is my concern. Notice the G meter in the center of the toolbar at the bottom. I've seen them before when I've been testing this pull 1000 G. I don't think they can, is my honest answer to that. Can you think of anything that can, so bear in mind, if you smash an aircraft face down into the ground, like, 500 knots, just no forward inertia straight down, think, you end up with something like 100 G. 1000 G is, I don't think anything can mechanically survive that. And that goes for both the, let's just see where we are. So yeah, you can see Kinjals are on the way in. The AWACS can probably see, well, can definitely see them. But what my argument would be is, I do not believe that for the terminal maneuvering that this thing does, that anything, has a chance to actually sort of defend itself against this. I'm happy to be wrong, but that is just my opinion. I've also turned the audio back up so it will get a bit louder as we see the terminal phase. Oh, yeah, that was louder. So you've got a slew of missiles coming downhill. These are conventionally armed as well. The nuclear versions I find should blow themselves up. There's the AWACS. Hi, AWACS. So you can see, look at that. 21G. So I think I'm seeing 30G there, just in terms. Wow. Hang. So one's been shot down by thingies. Wow, that's the first time I've seen this happen. Another one's shot down. This one's got to go in, but 192G, 290G, 200G. I do not believe for a minute that the gyros in this, much less the missile, can survive this. 500G, 1000G. There you go. There's 1000G we're pulling right now to pull this maneuver. I do not believe the missile can actually sort of do that. I think if it did that, it would just spin out, disintegrate in midair. Whereas, I mean, it missed the ship, But still, I just do not believe this is realistic. Which is one that's just... Oh, it's the Berkshire, right. Like, it missed. It was a very near miss. But, like I say, it is my honestly held opinion that, yeah. Now, Lorazum is out. This is Lorazum. Hello. It's transonic. I'm gonna turn that audio back down again. So yeah, it's a transonic missile. It flies very low. It's fairly stealthy, not massively stealthy, but fairly stealthy. Also, at this point, it's that low. Just the fact that no one can, it's not visible over the radar horizon, is going to be helping Metis today. You can also see, like I say, these guys have not yet launched their missiles. They will. They're just sort of flying out to the target area very slowly. Now, look at the amount of Lorazums coming out of these aircraft. Like I say, 40 Lorazum in total. This, by the way, is the Raider. No, they finished pumping that. They're going to fly. They'll end up overflying the target, which shows as well how stealthy these things are, at least according to Current Hill, because they do not get engaged at all by the ships. Now, whether that's because the ships have gone, you're out of ammunition, you're not a threat to me, we don't know. Yeah. So, I am going to fast forward this for a moment, just as you can see the scatter of rounds there. So this is the MiG-30. MiG-31s are doing the same approach but at high altitude. So the MiG-31s are going to get shot down. That's 8 missiles though, so it's very little compared to what's actually... There you go, you can see SM-6 is being pumped out to attack them already. You can see high altitude SM-6. Actually, I think this is an anti-shipping SM-6. So this may be a synchronized arrival over the target, who knows? We'll find this out. There's a heavy rate of fire though. Nope, this is going for an aircraft. It's a bit of a waste really, but a missile taking out the MiG-31 at this point, but kind of its job, not gonna lie. Actually, I don't know. I think that's going for a ship. It's just... Oh no, that's going for an aircraft. Yeah. Yeah, taking the aircraft being taken down a peg, which it is what it is. Bonk. So, just want to see the experience here of the Lorazum passing head on with the MiGs. Lead Lorazum. The MiGs are like, oh, missiles? Oh, they're not even us. Oh well. So the Sukhais. Wait, hold the phone. Was that? That's just SM6s running in on them. That's fine. I for a second there thought that one had air-to-air with one of my Lorazums, which I thought would have been the greatest thing ever. So it looks like a conventional strike with aircraft won't really do that much. It just turns into a lot of Martin Maker letdowns, ejections. Got one MiG-31 that survived and has merged. Absolutely nothing he can do, by the way. It's just here at altitude. Anyway, back to Lorazums. They're just hanging out. Oh no, B-21's way lower. So we're about to see a hail of fire come out of these ships, and watch the rate of fire coming off the Kazatanovs. So the Admiral Kazatanov is the Gorshkov class frigate. That is going to rain hell. There you go. So immediately in the air, we've got yeah, those things. These are basically point defense weapons. But look at the rate of fire that's coming out. Now that they're visible on radar. Also, though, they're using 2 rounds to kill each missile. That is incredibly wasteful. So one of the things these LRASMs are going to do, even if none of them get through, which to be honest I don't think they will, the rate of fire that we're seeing coming off. Keep the Greats firing its little darts. Even if none of these get through, we've just drained a lot of missiles. Like, look at that, there's 3 missiles in the air for 1 LRASM. They're all just self-destructing now. So yeah, what we're going to do now is speed up time. Let them shoot each other. So we've done the air power aspect. Now for the naval power aspect. So there you go, bang. Interesting though, like I said. So these are the B-21. Sorry. You can literally see the smoke plumes of the enemy fleet, and they can't see these at all. So yeah, it's just interesting to discuss that, I guess. The reason I have them run in a straight line is A, it cleans them up a bit because they get shot down, and B, it helps to simplify the amount of things that can go wrong with aircraft taking a turn before they're in range for their weapons and then not shooting anymore, basically. Now there are, I'm going to also, I'll tag in here that there are ships which are anti-saboteur ships, the Grachnok class, but they don't have any ability other than to catch bullets here. They have an Igla, some grenade launchers, some rocket grenade launchers, and a machine gun. Like, no. You're not doing anything. Like, my complaint was that the Grecians don't do much. The Grecians don't do much, you do nothing. Unless you're going to, like, point your Igla at a ship that you've somehow managed to get close enough to. That's the only thing I can suggest otherwise. Oh, we're raining hell. I did miss that because I was fast forwarding and reading about the Grachnok. Grachnok. That's shit. Alright, missiles are raining in. You can see the SM-6 is incredibly fast, 2,700 knots still, even though it's sort of in the glide phase of flight. But you can see cons coming out of the fleet. They're engaging them alright. Pang. Yep. Got some harpoons out from some of the older ships. Yeah, harpoons are just going to go and act as bullet minute catcher jobs. Oh, this is an SM-6 on its way in still. You can see these sort of flashes almost, where, like I say, the missiles catch each other up. Or, catch each other in flight, basically. Like I said, the SM-6 is obviously, as you'll be aware, are SAMs in their own right, but obviously I can say they are obviously been repurposed to do the anti-shipping work. I don't know why they're not just sort of fire-rolling effectively, but hey ho, you deal with what you got, and all that kind of stuff. There's a couple of, I think the Arleigh Burkes might not be modernised. No, they are, but for some reason they've got land attack cruise missiles on board. Huh. I think the Tychos have like a token number of harpoons on board still. So, whoa, this is getting close now. Look at that. Okay, it's actually no closer than it was before, but still. Hang. The harpoons are still sort of finding their way over. Another wave of SM-6s coming in. It's just like, but you'll notice as well, the Russians are firing loads of SAMs, but they're not offensive at this point. Their AWACS, so their eyes, are 87 miles away from the fleet. They can see that. They know the ships are there, but they can't attack them. Which I'm not sure why they're not doing too fair, because the Kasetanov will have Onyx on board, which can do like 200 miles. Is Tunguska that's gone mad above the fleet? It's going to hit something on the fleet, or is it just going to splash into the water harmlessly? Who knows? Oh, self-destruct. Got the harpoons powering in there. I say, you'll see we are draining them down. And I mean, this will probably turn into a gunfight by the end of it, but we're draining them down. They are progressively losing more and more of their air defense capabilities. Soon we'll get them down to seaways. See, that was 2 missiles that just missed this. So we are in net profit for missiles on this strike in particular. Hang. They are getting frightfully close though. A lot of harpoons in the air. A lot of harpoons. You can also see how much faster the SM6s are. Bear in mind how long these harpoons have been flying for. They are pretty close now. I mean, the harpoons, they are definitely not getting through. But again, they're a good way to make them waste, valuable offensive munition. And I want to speed time up because we're not getting... Oh, hang on. We scored a hit on Peter the Great. Peter the Great has had 2 hits now, by the looks of things. 2 hits from SM6. Notice Peter the Great's cash downs aren't kicking in at all there. Thought they would actually. So you've actually got a couple of ships with, the one of the Kazatovs is on fire. One of the Udloys is taking a hit too. Just doesn't have a visual damage model by the looks of things, which is fine. And they're now firing Tors. It's just to defend the incoming missiles. Peter the Great's taking more and more rounds. Peter the Great's down to amber health now. This is not a good place to be if on board Peter the Great. Now, one of the things to discuss as well that we sort of talked about in the aftermath of the sinking of the Moskva. NATO ships are designed around multiple watertight compartments. 2 more hits taken. Wow. Peter the Great's defenseless now. That's crazy. And bear in mind, the NATO fleet. Okay, got Tunguska's gone mad, but aside from that, the NATO fleet completely unscathed. I don't actually think we're going to get to a point where Type 26 is going to use itself. We're just... a bad day to be a Molnir. Snipping tool time. Hang. Now, that Molnir is already down to red health just from the KE of that impact. Bear in mind as well, he's 2 rounds, he's dead. He's going to sink out now. Yeah, so because he's a small ship, he just needs a couple of rounds and he's dead. He's kaput. Tools are coming out from even the Kuznetsov now. Yep, got him. Now bear in mind, the Russians are not defenceless by any stretch of the imagination. However, we are starting to, or the NATO fleet is starting to overwhelm them with rounds. Bear in mind, I buffed the NATO fleet just due to the additional air power. For me personally, I always sort of look at it that, the more rounds you give the enemy, the more rounds you have the ability to take. And the like I say, in the past we sort of put the entire Russian, Northern Fleet, which let's be honest, wouldn't all sail together for one battle. That is sort of a thing of the past, I would almost say. You're very unlikely to see that many ships come out to play. Now, yeah, it's like I say, it's a just to thingy. Sorry, I'm just full brain gobber. As well, when it comes to fire on board the Kazatanov, very easy to spot. That Karakat that's on fire, it is. I think that might be a CH thing that, like, as soon as it gets damaged, it goes on fire. Going for a Udaloy. Thumbnail right. Whoa, that's a cool thumbnail, actually. I'm going to grab a thumbnail and then I'm going to thingy it because I don't trust myself here. Hang. Yeah, I can't press the pause key fast enough. Like I say, these Tunguskas go, they obviously go, they go down, but they self-destruct. But again, non-zero chance of hitting something important. So, it's now just defending SM6 rounds. Bear in mind, we're raining SM6s on these guys now. We are raining it down on them. See, what do I think will happen in this battle? There go another Kazatanov's tanks. Pause. That's going. It's not. It's interesting. They're not actually attacking the Kirov. For the thing, they're attacking the more sort of capable combatant ships, like the Kazatanovs, like the Peter the Great, because they're, which is very interesting to me, like the way DCSAI decides what to kill. Now there is going to be a phase where the NATO fleet runs out of missiles. Oh, or what are we launching here? No, NSMs. This is the Royal Navy. These, I think, will stand a really good chance of getting through. I wish we could launch these at the same time as we launched the as we launched the Lorazans, like send them in a big blob. Because again, just the rate of fire of these and the fact how low they fly makes them very interesting missiles. We'll ride the first one in. Let's say you can literally see the fire effect from the four Kazatanovs. Killing these things out of interest. Wait, what are these? These are the wow, that is crazy that we've gone down to these now. These are basically the Hermes, the Panzer shots. And these have a really good efficacy by the looks of things. Right, I'm going to just speed this up now, just for simplicity. NSM's burning in. Heavy weight of fire coming from the point defence. Again, the point defence coming off the Kazatanovs feels a bit OP, but suppose there's some questions there, isn't there? That with the American equipment, it always seems like it's less effective. It goes off the published figures. So, do the Americans have something that's 100% effective, right? But they just tell everyone it's like 90% effective. That way, it's just like, bring it, bro. And then, like, probably if I did that to myself, but hey. Right, so we are now completely out of missiles on the NATO side, so we're just going to speed time up. Like I said, I'm expecting the Russians to just sling a ton of missiles, but they'll probably wait until they're closer, obviously. Right, so like I said, it'll be about sort of 50 miles apart that they start hitting again, probably. Uh-oh, I put it to 1200 times fast forward. Pause. Well, not pause, but I'll put it to 60. That way we will see rounds going through the air. Bear in mind, Russian fleet size checks. So, Peter the Great, quite badly, dinked. None of the ships, well, so one of the ships sank, with the rest of them sort of still afloat. But, yeah. Meanwhile, like I say, NATO, not a scratch on the paintwork. Come on, guys. Kill each other. Bear in mind, you're only 40 miles apart. That's not that far at naval gun range. And like I say, these guys none of them have fired their main armament yet. Russians are at a reduced pace. The Americans still going ahead of flank bell. It's just turned into firing guns at each other, isn't it? Here's to be that that's how this is going to end. Okay, we've got rounds in the air, so it's been defended with SM2s. ESSMs, Pang. So they must be retasking themselves mid-flight. Wow. And 6 ESSM. I'm waiting to see a cam to come off out of the Tab 26, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Like I say, remember, they are firing, basically. Huh. Texture's missing on this thing. Or balked, at least. So the Russians, I don't know why the Russians haven't fired sooner. They do have an AWACS, same as the Americans. That should give them over the horizon. capabilities. Firing next wave. Got a shipwreck out and a. Not sure these actually. This is zircon, possibly. Yeah, I think it's zircon. No, it's not zircon. I'm being an idiot. We are firing a shipwreck. A shipwreck at this point. Now notice this is a high threat. So they're firing 1, 2, 3, 4 missiles at it, just to make sure he is absolutely dead. Again, ESSM for a shipwreck. There we go. So I'm just going to say it's just ESSM, ESSM. I'm just going to blow the missiles out the sky. We'll do it at sort of 10 times speed, just so you can see what's happening, but it's just going to be, NATO stopping Russian rounds now. To be honest, I cannot see an environment where a Russian missile gets through. Russian gunnery, you can't stop that, but Russian missiles, it's just not happening. Do bear in mind the Russians did, at least at the start, have a numerical advantage. However, they do have some ships which aren't really combatants, or don't have much of a capability in terms of the anti-ship department. However, they are here. The NATO fleet doesn't really have that. It's NATO's in its Royal Navy and USN. Unfortunately, we don't really have many surface combatants in game, comparatively speaking. Like we don't have anything German, which is that's a bad example. French, properly, or Norwegian, Danish, Dutch, that kind of stuff. Have a look at that. So they will be now firing their main guns. That's so yeah. You can see basically the NATO thing is rapid firing guns. They're straddling. Peter the Great is dead in the water. He's just getting pummeled. It's all over for him. He's sunk out according to the game. Kuznetsov is on its way out. Okay, got a Tykart's taken some damage. We'll just monitor the little tags. Moskva's getting pummeled with a Slava class ship. So that has fired its missiles, just doesn't look like it. Alright, we'll speed time up a bit. We are going to lose a Ticonderoga in this, but to be honest, losing, 1 or 2 ships on the NATO side against such a massive fleet is not surprising. They are now doing some fancy re-attack, sacrificing the Tycho that's out front. This is a bad day to be in the Russian Navy, let's just say that much. Zatanov is dead. Moskva is about to be dead. Yeah, Zatanov's sinking. Another ship over there, that's dead in the water. Not a fun time to be, like I say, in the Russian Navy. He's just firing away. He's about to sink, he's just like, no, fuck it, let's go, boys. Yep, USS Chosen. Of course, named for the Battle of the Chosen Reservoir. Where basically one division, like 100 Marines, held out against like thousands of Chinese and North Koreans. So yeah, this is definitely the spirit, shall we say, of the name of the ship. Just firing rapidly, just rapid fire. Keep going. You know, Type 45 doesn't care. Arlie Burke? Yeah, so they're holding fire for now, I think. We've got another Udaloy's just been wiped out, so we've really got a limited number of ships remaining in the Russian fleet. They're turned and are running north. They're just like, we'll make it hard for them. Oh no, we'll take roads anyway. Anyway, add an angle. Serpentine is scientifically proven they can't get you for your serpentine. Haraka is about to be dead. It's limping at 7 knots. Just abandon ship, boys. Just get it over and done with. Karakurt's dead. Down to 3 ships in the thing. USS Chosen there blazing away with its main gun. Bear in mind, all of the this is the only Tycho in the fleet. There's a very limited number of Tycho drones. I don't know why I went so Arlie Burke heavy, but the Tychos also have a rear gun if it's still attached on this ship. Oh, sorry, my bad. Yep, it's blazing away, I think. Wow! Just giving it everything. Giving it the beans. So yeah, the Type 26 might as well not actually come along today. So you can see it has not fired any rounds of cams. It's got the deck gun still fully charged up. Not used anything, not had to. It's just been along for the ride. People got very scared, you know, but beyond that, everyone's absolutely fine. So this thing's going to sinking soon. Kabenko is taking rounds. It's in red health now, so it's going to be a matter of time. Rapuka's having a bad day at the office. They're all going to start sinking any second. So to recap, on fire, sinking. On fire, about to sink. Blazing away. That's taken a round, you can see the damage on there, but Type 45 unscathed, Arlie Burke's unscathed, firing, just blazing away there, aren't they? Karaka has sunk, Kabenko has sunk, one Udaloy is surviving. Not for much longer under that rate of fire. Risha the bear is about to sink. Yeah, he's dead. He stopped, and you'll see he'll just stop sinking. We've got a Rapuka who's now realised he's in charge of the whole fleet, or 2 ships of it. He's about to start sinking. And then, yeah, not a bad day at the office, really. So it turns out, like I say, yeah, so the air power side of things was interesting at the start. I did, in the end, it didn't really do much other than sort of, you know, burn some missiles on either side. But I would be interested to see, in terms of, you know, if we up those numbers, the effect that would have. Alright, one last Rapuka, who's having an awful day. He's just explosions all over, just abandon ship. Hoist the white flag. Lifeboats in the water. Get off. Like, there's no point. Bear in mind, these Rapukas are sort of like tank carrying ships. They're big. But there's also a lot of large compartments, so they'll sink fast. You know, it'll take a lot to sink them, but once they start sinking, they're on the way down. When is he firing? No, he's literally Type 26. Just, I don't care. I'm just along for the ride, boys. We'll render Mediclade later. That's what Type 26 is doing. HMS Glasgow over here. We love the Glaswegians, but yeah. Blasting through the water at nearly 30 knots. 29 knots. And there we go, he's about to sink out. So there you have it, folks. So that is NATO versus the Northern Fleet. I may sort of finish this series off with Nato versus the Pacific Fleet, but to be totally honest, I'd like to do some, you know, have a carrier group involved. So I'll do a carrier group versus the Northern Fleet, the Pacific Fleet, sorry. However, until we get the ability to put Lorazum on F-18s, then there's very little point. But we'll sit here and watch this guy die. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful day. Sorry, I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you also enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to see more from me on a regular basis. Like the video if you did. I think I already said that. We'll see you in the next video. Until next time, guys. Bye for now.